Welcome back, everybody, to episode, I don't know what this is, of the songs that changed my life. My name is Emma G. I am pleased to be joined tonight by Jamie Darken, singer songwriter, welcome head rock star of fantastic DC based band, and we're doing all kinds of things during quarantine and really digging deep into our purposes as songwriters, because if you didn't know, I am secretly a songwriting coach to help people unfunk themselves using the power of songwriting. And there are so many dope musicians and songwriters around the country that are doing the same thing with their music, with their vibe, with their messages. And this particular song is testament to that. But before I go any further, welcome, Jamie. How the truck are you?
I am trucking great.
I'm saying that to be kind of facetious because I used to be a youth worker, and so when I wanted to say fuck people, I would just be like truck, and now I brought it here, and then every time I say truck, people think I'm talking about like legitimate trucks because that's a thing in this country. But nonetheless, I'm glad that you're well. How was your Thanksgiving weekend?
It was lovely. I spent it with my mom and my brother and his girlfriend, so kind of small family bubble, everyone staying safe.
Lovely, lovely. And we hear that you've got some really exciting news in your corner of the world.
Oh, I do. I wasn't sure if this was going to come up.
I mean, we're all about the brags around here. Come on.
Yes, me and my husband have a house up in Rhode Island now, where
So excited for you.
literally the small little fishing village that he spent his summers in growing up. So quarantine has been surprisingly productive the last couple weeks.
That's awesome.
Lots of moving furniture. It's also been the most workout heavy time of quarantine for me, for sure.
I love it. I love it. It's one of those quarantine goals, right? Like buy a new house, get quarantine fit. I feel you. That's cool. That's cool. Cool. So digging into this song, so you have been writing music for a long time. Your band does Cherry Ames, and I want to know more about before we even get into the songwriting. Where did the name Cherry Ames come from? Am I saying that correctly?
Cherry Ames.
Okay, cool.
It came from our previous bassist's wife. So, for those that don't know, Cherry Ames was a character in the 50s, I think.
Okay.
A nurse. She was part of these serial mystery novels. She was a nurse that solved mysteries.
I
I,
love it.
I didn't know
Like the
that.
Hardy Boys, but
Yeah,
like female.
was except a nurse. My personal favorite Cherry Ames book is Cherry Ames at the Dude Ranch.
I don't even know what that is, but okay.
This could be a very pivotal moment in your education of American culture to read Cherry Ames at the Dude Ranch.
Okay. Homework set. I love it. I love it.
I didn't know this until I told my mom. I was like, "Yeah, I'm in a new band called Cherry Ames," and she gasped. She was like, "That was one of my favorite childhood heroes."
Oh, that's brilliant. I'm just definitely going to check it out. So tell me about you've been writing songs for a while, like I said. Um, but this song that we're going to be discussing tonight is a song called Best Wishes. You wrote it about the struggles of what it means to not just be young, but be queer and young. And, that's something I want to dive right into that because I feel like specifically over the last 4 years, even, post LGBTQ, marriage equality law being passed in the States, a casual 7 years after New Zealand, just saying. But, it's such, the last 4 years have really been quite a scary time for the queer community. So was that the motivation behind the song? What helped? What sort of made you want to write about this now?
Um, that's a thank you for addressing that. That's really, really, I think it's really important to talk about the last 4 years have been really scary. A big difference I've seen, though, is that person to person, when I hear younger people talking about what it's like for them in school,
Mhm.
it we've come a long way. So this song for me, I wrote about um, it being difficult in middle school and high school, specifically for me in the mid aughts, where it's still even. I grew up in Chapel Hill, North Carolina, one of the most progressive cities in the South, uh,
Mm.
and it was still not okay to be gay.
Right.
Hearing hearing from kids nowadays who just casually mention their queer friends in middle school and high school, it warms my heart. It's amazing to see with all of this craziness going on, all of these just horrible, horrible mandates and laws being passed on a
Yeah.
level. People are still good to each other. They're getting better. They're learning more. I think there's a lot to be learned from the young people.
Facts. No, I totally agree with that. Totally agree with that.
For me, this song is specifically about being in a setting where it's not okay to be queer, where everybody around you, kind of, you're looking at all the people around you, wishing that you could be like them and that you could blend in, but you just can't. And that's kind of like, there are a few lines in the song talking about kind of looking out of windows,
Right.
other people enjoying their lives and being open and honest and kind of wishing you could be one of them.
Right. Right. It's can I get personal for a minute? Or can I dig into your personal for a minute? I'm really curious because again, not having grown up here in the States, and yet New Zealand's a very progressive country in many ways. There's still a lot of homophobia that does resonate even in the big cities. And as young people, we have a tendency to explore and really blend, not blur the lines, but like figure out and figuring out who we are and how we fit into the world. And some people know from a very young age and are very adamant, this is who I am. Other people really struggle with being, honest with themselves.
Mhm.
Was this something that you struggled with from a very young age, or was it just a case of like, I don't feel like I fit in, or what was that process for you?
So for me, I remember really specifically when I was 14, um, kind of it finally fully hitting me, thinking like, okay, I'm gay. I know that. I know that about myself, but I'm not ready to make it public, to come
Mhm.
out and deal with the repercussions of that.
Right.
So for me, it was a really conscious choice, and it wasn't so much a struggle of me realizing my sexuality. It was more, uh, like I was saying, kind of looking at other people and thinking, I wish I could be that. Like
Right.
it would be a lot more convenient if I was straight and I didn't have this secret that I had to hold in. Uh,
Right.
and it wasn't until I went off to college that I was ready. I think kind of my thought process was coming out to all of these people who had known me as a straight person. uh,
Right.
it would be too big a burden for me to bear, and it would be like I had been lying to them, which,
Mm.
I mean, looking back at younger me, I'm like, oh, you poor little thing. You're missing out on so much. um,
Right.
Going off to college really made it easier to introduce myself to people as a queer person, and they knew that about me going in. That took a huge weight off my shoulders when I came out, for sure.
My heart just got really happy just then. Thank you. Okay, so tell me, like, sorry, I guess we kind of like went on a bit of a tangent here. What was the motivation behind the song? What made you wake up one day and say, okay, I'm now gonna address the demons from every single, well, all of the demons from my middle school and high school closets.
So it
That was a pun intended. Yes, thank you. Okay. Get it? Because coming out of the closet. Okay.
good one. Um, the song was really a process. It was a really, really long process. Like, as opposed to me realizing my sexuality, it didn't just click. I didn't just wake up one day and decide to write this song. I
Okay.
had the chord changes for a long time. It was a few years that I had been sitting there playing these chords. And I knew that the first line of the song would be through the haze of summer heat, their lives look like a place I want to be. And that I didn't know what that meant for a long time. That was all I
Mm,
had. And then I just slowly kind of built on that one line. Um, and it took me a while, even after I finished writing the lyrics, to realize what it's about. And by far, it is my most personal song. And when the band asks to play it when we're rehearsing, I'm like, really, guys? Like, the song is so uncomfortable.
good.
It is by far the most intimate and personal song I've written. It's one of the few songs that I wrote just for myself. Uh,
Mm,
writing it kind of felt like admitting these things to myself, putting them into words, putting them into a song, and leaving them behind. And that's where the title Best Wishes came from. Specifically, I was thinking of things that you write in a high school yearbook.
right.
Um,
Oh, okay. Yeah, I feel you.
like, as a way, like, okay, goodbye feelings about this. You're in a song now. I'm done with you.
Right, right. That's heavy. I love it. I love it. It takes a lot of courage to be able. I really feel you on that. It was the same thing for me when I wrote "Be Brave." I wrote that song initially thinking it was about me moving to DC from the woods in Connecticut, and then as my life has progressed, I'm like, oh no, this is basically every day when I wake up. Like, okay, time to put your big girl panties on. Like, what do we got? That's gorgeous. That's really, really awesome. So you mentioned a little bit about your songwriting process, that it was a lot longer than you usually do to take rather to write a song. Um, what's your normal songwriting process, and what made this one like particularly different?
So my normal songwriting process is I'll pick a mood or
Mm-hmm.
even a specific thing. Like, for the first song from our new EP, the first song is called Angel 5. I wrote it about an airplane. And that's kind of where I started with that song. I was like, okay,
Okay.
it's about an airplane. And then that drew in other ideas. Like, I wrote about my honeymoon in that song. I wrote about what it's like to be on an airplane on an international flight, um, kind of the exhilaration of
Mm,
going to a new place. So usually it starts with a central idea. But with Best Wishes, uh, there with Best Wishes, I drew from a lot of different places that
mhm,
it took me a while to realize how all of those fit together. So I wrote about my family growing up used to take these 6 to 8 week long road trips every summer across the country. That's what part
that's
of
cool.
mentioning this first line in the song, like, through the haze of summer heat, their lives look like a place I'd rather be.
Mm,
Part of that was traveling to all these cities in a car, looking out the window of
mhm,
the car, seeing these people going about their daily lives, like having fun and wishing I could join them, just like get out of the car and like go jump in the river. Like seeing a specific memory I have is driving across a bridge and seeing kids jumping off into the river from the bridge. And I just really wanted to join them.
Right.
I drew from, I mean, we already went over it. I drew from like the uncomfortable feeling of being in high school, not getting to be yourself. I drew from relationships that I've had with people that I felt like I didn't do as well as I could in that relationship, and that I might have hurt that person, and learning to forgive myself for that, and learning how to communicate with those people, how to talk to them, trusting that they can take care of themselves and I can take care of myself. And through that, we'll both be better, even though there were hard times. This song drew from a lot of different places.
I love it. No, it feels like, one of the biggest themes for the song is it's really a song about forgiveness, right? Yeah. Self-forgiveness and external forgiveness. Would you say that was the biggest breakthrough that you achieved with this particular song?
Definitely. This song
without a doubt.
A really, really big breakthrough for me, personally and as a songwriter. I think it was the first song I've ever written that felt like a real healing process. I've written songs before that kind of took on a new life after I wrote them over the years of sitting and listening to them. But for this song, the long process of writing it, of recording it, it was a really powerful process for me, emotionally, as a person and as a songwriter.
Yeah. I mean, it's raw, it's real, it's you, it's meant to be powerful, right? Yeah. And you don't want to skip through those, we'll just get to all the abuse later. Like, it's important when you're writing something that's this powerful and that impacts so many other people. It's really important that you take time and be gentle with yourself.
Yes, exactly. Be gentle with yourself, be gentle with other people. And so, I mean, speaking of forgiveness, learning what you're not ready to forgive and kind of the process that takes, through self-reflection. That's just as important as forgiving other people and forgiving yourself, is learning what can I not just sit in my own head with and figure out. What takes a little bit more work? What do I wake up every day having weigh on me? And what steps do I take? Like, I recognize that weight, and then take the steps that are needed to help myself through that. Aspect of physical and emotional abuse that goes a little bit further than like, oh, I insulted someone one time and I feel bad about it and I need to I need to say sorry to them and forgive myself. There are some things that aren't that easy or simple and that are a long, hard process. And this song is still an ongoing process for me. Like, I'm done writing it, I'm done recording it. I still think about it all the time. And I think about forgiveness.
Yeah. That's powerful. It's powerful. So I'm wondering, again, we tend to write songs for ourselves, because artists tend to be very egotistical and self-centered. But obviously, like, this often morphs into serving other people, right? With the magic of our words and melodies and musicianship. Have you found that you have received much feedback from your audience surrounding this song? And I guess, do you guys have much of a queer following with your audience?
So.
Sorry, what was that?
would like to think so. I know a lot of my queer friends are proud of me and enjoy our music.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, that's a good question. I feel like when I write songs, increasingly I've realized that it's no fun just sitting by myself. Maybe I realized this because of quarantine. Maybe everybody is realizing that it's no
Yeah.
fun to just sit by yourself and write a song and put it up on a pedestal like a sculpture in a museum or something. Uh,
Mm.
for me is all about uh, communicating and having a conversation with the audience, um, whether that conversation is just people dancing because it's a fun song or
Right, right.
a little bit deeper, community in music and doing something more than just writing a song, um, to showcase my feelings. Um, that isn't interesting to me. I always want to help in some way. I want to use my songwriting to help other people and to use it as a tool for more than just um, being an egotistical artist.
Yeah, for sure. It's yeah. I feel like because as artists we often get accused of so many things as well. It's like, no, I really just want you to have a good day.
Yeah,
Like, I want you to feel good about yourself. I want you to not be suicidal or depressed or, you know, I want you to stand up to that person that's treating you badly. No, I feel you. I
that,
feel
that can take so many different forms. Like when I listen to just as much pop music as I do um, kind of patrician music, I guess is what people call it. Like
patrician music.
deep, deep music that's very emotional and very meaningful.
I love
Um,
it.
like I said, even just inspiring someone to dance or sing along to a song that can have just as much impact as somebody uh, sitting alone in a dark room and crying along with the song. I think
Mm,
you can take what you want from music and use it to better your own life, whether or not you see that music as authentic or
yeah.
valid.
Yeah. Yeah. It's yeah, no, I 1000% agree with everything you're saying right now. It's just bringing back all the songs in my head. You know, like Jimmy Eat World's "The Middle." Do you know that song?
Of course, I do. I
Yeah,
love.
I don't know. I'm not here to judge. That was like my catalyst song to be like, okay, Emma, it's time to leave New Zealand. Time to move to America. I'm not kidding. Like it can be that.
I grew up listening to that style of music, and I that song I specifically love Jimmy Eat World, and I love that song because of the like inspirational and positive message that it has. Instead of
Yeah.
uh, I've reached an age now where I go back and I listen to the music that I listened to in middle school and high school, and I'm thinking, man, all of these songs are about a straight man whining about a girl that treated him badly, like that.
Time to rewrite this script.
There are so many other perspectives. Like, how did so much of this music get made?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, and I think that's a sign of the changing times as well. Is that we're now, celebrating artists like LP and Halsey, and I
Mhm.
don't actually know many big queer artists that are male um, that I can think of.
That's something that I have always kind of tried to reconcile. I feel like
Mm,
a gay man and being a musician. Um,
yeah, I mean, there's Todrick Hall.
I love him.
Yeah, he's awesome. Again, I'm hoping that my pronunciation is correct, but yeah, it's the time is now.
there's not much overlap I found between um, the like queer spaces, the male queer spaces that I found in DC and the musical spaces.
Mm, mm,
Always kind of hoped to find some way to bring those two together.
hmm.
That's a puzzle maybe I'll solve one day.
Well, I think that's one of the beautiful things about, this year has been we have clearly been doing, fucking everything up. Otherwise we wouldn't be here. So let's rewrite the script that we're playing, and let's do more of this, this work. Let's make safer musical spaces for the queer community. Let's change, let's have more women on the Supreme Court. Let's let's change these things that clearly have not been going well for the last 100, 300, 400 years.
Specifically with music and music venues, there's gonna be rebuilding. And I keep reminding myself, music is just people. Venues are
Yeah.
not gonna disappear forever. It's sad to see certain venues close, but like music isn't going anywhere.
Yeah. Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. Have you received any feedback or friends from friends or family? Yeah, my brain.
More earlier, I got sidetracked.
Yeah.
I so actually Best Wishes has gotten the most feedback from my closest friends about the EP, which has been amazing to me. A lot of my friends back in North Carolina, it was the song that they were drawn to. Um,
Mm.
I think they could definitely feel that it was a very personal song. Um, it's also one of the, I guess, lightest on the EP.
Hmm.
Um, so for people that don't necessarily like all of the screechy shoegaze guitar sounds, it's a nice break for them. I found they like the acoustic guitar.
Yeah. Bringing the old school back, the acoustic guitar. I love that. That's funny. Cool. So I guess my last question was going to be, what makes this your life-changing song? I feel like we've talked about that quite significantly, but one of sort of a bit of a tangent, I guess, is not necessarily like how is the song life-changing for you, but given the background of where the song came from, how are you hoping that Best Wishes is going to help other people, or has it helped other people?
Um, I hope that it helps people through self-reflection. Um, that's, I mean, the song was an exercise, a hard exercise for me in self-reflection. Um, I hope people realize something that comes to my mind a lot is a phrase I saw on Facebook from somebody. Self care doesn't always look like a glass of Chardonnay in a bubble bath. Sometimes self-care is hard, and it's not always relaxing and easy. So I hope what people take away from this song is that it self-reflection will be worth it if you're honest with yourself. um, it's worth taking the time to figure out. Again, some of the phrases we've used throughout this is forgiveness, how to forgive yourself, how to forgive others. uh,
Mm,
what specifically in your life are things that you want to forgive, like what's been eating at you. It's worth
mm,
time to examine those things. um,
yeah,
and just being gentle to the people around you who might be going through something similar.
for sure. 100%. Before we get on to listening to the song, for those of you who have not heard Best Wishes yet, I want to go through the lyrics really quickly. Would you like to speak the lyrics, or would you like me to, Jamie?
I would love for you to do it. Everyone's heard me sing them. They haven't heard them in a New Zealand accent.
I mean, this is why I ask. I feel kind of awkward about it, but we'll go. Okay, so this is best wishes in my best Samuel L. Jackson impersonation, or was it Lawrence Fishburne who does the nighttime stories? Anyways, regard it is Samuel L. Jackson. I thought so. Okay, this is best wishes from Jamie Darken. Through the haze of summer heat, their lives looked like a place I'd rather be. Fiery eyes, rumored nights, they take these days as they come. Long muddled miles and cramped cars, local languishing made magical by distance. I hated that ugly summer slang, but I kept my mouth shut. Did you get better? Did we get better? I've arrived too late to make amends, too early to die blameless. I'm wasting days and I'm wasting away, watching the world turn around me. Time to break the surface of this chlorinated dream. My lungs are full of silt, my heart of hunger. I'm shifting to my skin in my not any longer. I've arrived too late to make amends, too early to die blameless. I'm wasting days and I'm wasting away, watching the world turn around me. When you leave a part of you behind, who forgives, who forgets, and who can't see the shoreline? I don't want forgiveness. I want you to listen. I want you to listen like you didn't back then. Thank you, thank you. And on that note, this is the debut song, the debut on my podcast, at least, of the gorgeous song Best Wishes from Cherry Ames.
Of summer heat, our lives look like a place I'd rather be. Fiery eyes, rumored nights, we take these days as they come. Long miles and cramped cars, local language made magical by distance.
And the crowd goes wild. Thank you. That was gorgeous.
That's the first time I've listened to that in a while.
Are you happy with that?
I'm really happy with it.
Awesome. Awesome. Hey, thank you so much for coming on, Jamie, and sharing a piece of your soul, a piece of your life, a piece of your truth with us. For anybody who's interested in hearing more of Cherry Ames, obviously they have a website because they're awesome. Cherry Ames Music, that's CherryAmes music.com. And yeah, is there anything? Oh, and you've got an EP, of course, as we know. How can people get that?
It is everywhere. It's on Spotify. It's on Apple Music. It's on CD. It's on our website. It's on Bandcamp. Yeah, No Breaks came out in September, and we are really, really happy to share all this with you guys.
That's awesome. And of course, if you go onto their Bandcamp, you can buy the full digital album. You know, there are a lot of platforms, unless you want to order a physical copy from them directly. The great thing about places like Bandcamp is that the artists actually benefit. So that is cherryames.bandcamp.com, and I'll put that all in the description of this video as well. But on that note, thank you guys so much for being here. Thanks for watching. Thanks again, Jamie, for sharing a piece of your life with us and with me specifically, and going deep into your song with us. If you're interested in learning more about how to write your own song, I've recently just released my book, which is on my Bandcamp, emma.gmusic.bandcamp.com. And if you're interested in learning how to write your own song even further on a one-to-one basis, send me a message and we can get some work done together. Otherwise, definitely go and follow Cherry Ames. They're on YouTube, they're on Facebook, they're on Instagram, they're on everything. Just not the book. Sorry.
We are on everything.
It's true. But if you think if you Google Cherry Ames and it comes up with a woman who that's not them. Cool. Thank you guys so much. Be good, be kind, spread love like it's going out of fashion. Be your own kind of superhero and have an amazing day on purpose.